ultimately, it's Buddhas who have the greatest capacity to help other beings, because to be able to show beings the way to free themselves from the bewitchment of samsara, one would need to have the unrestricted compassion and all-pervading wisdom that only a Buddha has fully developed, has fully manifested. And so that is why in the Mahayana we make this extraordinary great emphasis on achieving that level of Buddhahood, because we know it is the only complete way to respond to the plight of others trapped in samsara. But nevertheless, from the get-go, from, so to speak, entering into Dharma practice, we should have the situation of others as a kind of the principal focus of our practice, and as we shouldn't, as it were, put off trying to help others in the way we can until enlightenment. In fact, working for others is alongside wisdom, is the two kind of principal ingredients of the path, even for beginners. In short, we try to emphasize compassion and wisdom as the true guiding principles for our practice. How can we help others? In whatever way we can, respond to the suffering of others. If we have, for instance, if their sufferings can be relieved by physical means, and we have the ability to do that, we should do so. Even though that suffering that we're removing is not the ultimate suffering of birth and death, nevertheless, one should still endeavour to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked, and so on and so forth. Not thinking, oh, that is not my duty because I'm a religious person. If one is serious about the Dharma path, one should do this. For instance, there's a wonderful story about Buddha himself, when one of his close disciples was afflicted by dysentery. Buddha himself washed and tended to this suffering monastic. So we, as beginners, certainly shouldn't think we have nothing to do with helping people in a very ordinary and direct way. We should. But at the same time, of course, we know that is not sufficient, that the roots of suffering lie deeper than mere material circumstances and changing their discomforts. And so we should strive to develop the qualities of sympathy and kindness and support, and to the extent we can, the ability to kind of represent the Dharma to them when they wish for the Dharma. So helping beings has all these kind of, even for us as kind of beginners, so to speak, helping other beings is a necessary demand that we should ask, we should make on ourselves to help other beings, in whatever way we can. But actually, the mere impulse to help others, though noble, is not enough. We must also be thoughtful about this. We must also be intelligent about this. In short, we must try to develop a kind of wisdom to ask ourselves, what is really truly effective? And do I truly have the capacity in this case to help another person? For instance, seeing somebody with a broken leg, I might be moved to help them, but not being a skilled doctor, I might really mess their leg up even more. That doesn't mean I walk away on the other side. That means I try to find somebody who can help them, and perhaps also try to develop the skills in which I would be able to help such a situation directly in the future. So that's what I mean. But nevertheless, there's that kind of intelligence that observes this situation and inquires what is truly best. We don't just blunder in, moved by a mere kind of sentiment. Compassion to really help others, to really be an effective kind of motive helping others, must always be married with wisdom, or at least one might say, if wisdom's too elevated a word for people like us, common sense, or kind of thoughtfulness in application of intelligence. So that's it. Now one might then say to that, well, what about when one is in meditation and you're not out there helping sentient beings? What about when you're in retreat? Well, meditation, intense periods of meditation and so on, they're ways of developing in oneself the powerful qualities of wisdom and compassion through which you can be more effective in helping sentient beings. So rather from that being a denial of the need to help sentient beings, it's actually, it springs from it, that your reason for meditation, your reason for being in retreat is so you can bring something good out of that for other people. So in a sense, it's not like sometimes we have the feeling we should help people and other times we don't. We should always have that feeling. Whether we, as it were, engaged in activity or engaged in stillness.